I'm now streaming live on YouTube. Welcome back again. My name is Fleet Captain Robin Kearney Frazier. I am redoing, hey, that's trippy. Let me just go ahead and see if I can stop that background because, maybe that isn't just a good idea right now. I'm now streaming live on YouTube. Welcome back again. My name is Fleet Captain. Let's do none. Come on, bring it back to none. There you go. That way y'all can just see that I have this nice, wonderful little, let's rotate 90, 90. Ha! Hey, that's fun. Ha ha. We had some gremlins kind of attack our live video that we had done on December 19th. And so when I was trying to upload it to YouTube, it said, no, it's not happening. I tried taking it off of Facebook and it still said, no, not happening. So I decided that I'm going to work on my presentation skills here. And I was just going to go ahead and redo the video, run through the PowerPoint that we had done that night along with the awards, so that way everybody knows who won what and had done what and what happened and what we have coming up. Because we did abbreviate a lot of our meeting that night. Let's minimize that. And we're going to go from the beginning. And I am going to see if it will let me. There we go. We're going to start from the beginning. As I explained to a lot of people, I am a storyteller. I'm a natural bard. I love to sing. I love music. If there's a story to be told, I'm going to tell it. I'm going to get all the information together and I'm going to tell the story. We just recently were working on getting the entire storyline that I've done so far for Space Station Requiem up onto the guildsofrequiem.com website. There is a link to Space Station Requiem on there. You can also go to the blogs and look for Captain's Analogs. That is our storyline as it pertains to the here and now of Space Station Requiem. We do have some plans that go back to go back to the past and how Space Station Requiem came about, go back into my character a little bit further. And those are just the analogs. I've got 300 years worth of story writing there that will help you understand how the Confederation of Planets came about in our particular timeline. I would like to point out that we are not a mirror universe. We are our own universe. And that decision became about because we do allow other fandoms and genres into our chapter. And we are based in Pipe Creek, Texas, which is about 45 minutes west of San Antonio. We are in Bandera County. So we have all of the beautiful hill country for us to explore and come in. Let me go ahead and start here because this is a little intro that I'm working on that I'm probably going to try to get up on the website as soon as I can. And we'll get going from there. So that was the Moonlight Sonata, for those who did not recognize it. I am a very big classical buff. I really love it when classical music gets a modern upbeat to it. So I am a big fan of Trans-Siberian Orchestra. That recording was from Immortal Beloved. It is, I believe, either a French or German movie about the composer Beethoven and coping with his hearing loss, which speaks volumes to me. Because as some know or don't know, I am disabled. I deal with cognitive issues that impair my hearing and sometimes impair my speech. So that composer overall speaks volumes to me. But once again, we are Space Station Requiem. We are your gateway to adventure, which was our winning motto. We like to have community involvement and membership involvement. So we had posted a poll up in our group saying, and in several other groups saying, hey, we need a motto. And they're like, hey, what's a motto? What's a motto with you? Sorry, Timon and Pumbaa there. And this is a redux of our annual Yuletide celebration. Obviously, it is not December 19th, 2020 right now. We have survived into 2021, but I wanted to make sure that all the people who have contributed get their, get recognized. YouTube, the Facebook just didn't want to share anywhere else. So we decided, let's go ahead and I'm going to do live it today onto our YouTube channel. So that way it's there forever and ever and ever, unless I get really angry and I delete it. Not saying that has happened or anything. Welcome. We originally had some trans-dimensional guests that were planning to check in with us. Obviously, since we are not doing this on the 19th, those guests are not available. I would be really surprised if I get a ding dong saying, hey, I'm here. We're going to do our annual awards and we're going to pass on the sing along because I can't sing anymore. Normally I do a rendition of The Night Before Christmas. We call it The Night Before Trekmas. Things being what it was this year, we found that John Cleese did The Night Before Christmas way so much better than I possibly could have, and we had shared that onto our pages and our timeline. Welcome. This is our third year at our new location in Pipe Creek, Texas. Space Station Requiem originally started in Corpus Christi, Texas in 2013. It kind of took a 5-year mission, away break, and being in dry dock for a while until we started it back up. Let's see here, 2018 was when the Gamers Guild formed and they asked me for a science fiction fan club. I said, sure, okay. I have this club, Space Station Requiem, that is on a interdimensional rift that allows for all sorts of different fandom to be on board. It took a little bit of time, and Starfleet Command recommissioned us, so pulled us out of dry dock in October of 2019. So we've officially been out of dry dock once again for about 1.5 years. So this was our first full year out of dry dock. So it was kind of interesting going back and reminiscing with some people that who knew 7 years ago we would make it this far. Recap of 2020 is, if you were here, you have survived the pandemic. I know it's personally tough for me. I've experienced a lot of personal loss. A lot of our friends and members also experienced personal loss. That included several key members of Guilds of Requiem and as by an extension, Space Station Requiem. We will be honoring them with some of the awards this afternoon. We had our first convention, UFO Minicon, on August 29th of 2020. We had a lot of things planned, and give me just a second here. I need to sneeze. Excuse me. And the coronavirus being what it was, everyone decided that, having a convention inside and then in enclosed space probably isn't a good idea when their normal anticipated numbers were between 5,000 and 10,000 over the course of 2 days. And they made that decision at the beginning of August. So we got together with the Shindig and we said, hey, what if? And they said, cool. Made some amazing contacts with MUFON of San Antonio, which is Mutual UFO Organization Network. Mutual Unidentified Flying Object Network. They are an international organization. If you ever watch Hangar One, I believe it's on Hulu, that is actually produced by many of their members. So we were excited to make that acquaintance and have them a part of our team. We have seen some ups and downs, and we lost a lot of friends along the way, but we also made a lot of new friends. This has been 2020 ended up being the year of networking for us and expansion. We did make our local news in the Bandera Bulletin a couple of times. We also discovered that there was a brief article on us in the San Antonio News and done by one of the news stations on their website. And we made international news. So that was exciting to see that. We walked away with several Starfleet Command Quadrant 1 awards, and I will recap those awards again. I believe I still have them here on my desk and not put up in my book. Nope, I still have them. They are right here. And we'd like to welcome our first international members via Guilds of Requiem. We have a new member that found us, Federico from Italy. But we also, with Guilds of Requiem being an international organization, we talked it over with Starfleet Command, and they said, sure, as long as they are being on your chapter specifically, we have no problem with them joining Starfleet Command Quadrant 1. So I am excited that I will be able to add all of our people that we have in different countries through Guilds of Requiem into the Space Station Requiem network. Let's see here. I think instead of now for our guests, I am going to recap our awards from Starfleet International. The first one that we got, and hopefully this is going to be visible for everybody, I never did check that, is we got a retention award. And from my understanding, this is the most members that have either renewed or signed up with lifetime membership. And that is something that I wholeheartedly recommend. Take that stimulus check and get yourself an annual a lifetime membership with Starfleet Command, because then you're never going to have to remember, oh, hey, it's the end of year. Gosh darn, I spent too much money at Christmas. I'm going to have to not go to Starbucks or go out to eat a couple times so I can renew my membership. Use that stimulus money to help stimulate the economy of Starfleet Command and get yourself an annual, a lifetime membership. Certainly has made life easier for me. I was very surprised and very honored to find out that I got the second place for the senior officers. That really, that I'm still sitting here shocked and amazed over that. The second one that we got was we were the medium ship of the year, second place. I honestly did not realize our membership had grown big enough for us to be classified as a medium ship. My goal for 2021 is to be getting a large ship award. That ought to be fantastic. So I'm going to switch these around here for a second, because we also got, as a unit, the Recruiter of the Year award. And we were third place. There were two other chapters that outdone us. One of us was the U.S. and Indianapolis. We really are enjoying our friendship with them and going to their events and them coming to our events online. So typically whenever a unit wins the award, it stands to reason that somebody on the chapter is going to win the award. And in this case, it was myself. I got the second place Recruiter Award. I believe the Indianapolis and Mike Riley, I think maybe they got the most, or one of the other chapters. I'm one of the other chapters in the Recruiting Award. I'd have to go back and double check and look. But we are very, very excited to be a part of this organization. I am going to try to run through our awards as quickly as I can and try to do it with a dry eye now that I've processed a lot of things, and we are still working on the certificates. That is my goal for this week, is to create meaningful certificates that I can post into our public group for people to either just go ahead and grab off of. I do have some people who won the awards that are not on Facebook. And I do have their email addresses. As soon as I have their certificates made, I will send it to them. Yes, I am fidgety. I am hyper. I'm on coffee this late in the afternoon because I had a doctor's appointment this morning. I didn't get to have my coffee this morning because I wanted to do lab work. So I now have my coffee now. So I am energized and ready to go. We did divide our awards out by department. Robert Hammock is my executive officer, which simply means he's the vice president, second in command. If for some reason I'm not able to perform my duties, then Robert will step in and he'll take over. So him and I had this conversation about, just how do we want to do our annual awards? What makes sense? And we got to thinking that let's combine the Marines awards with the command awards. Because when you think of Marine, they are the complete and total embodiment of what being something means. And so when we want to recognize our members for Space Station Requiem, that's because they embody everything that it means to be a part of Space Station Requiem and Starfleet Command. We have our communications department, engineering, medical, operations, science, search and rescue, security, and of course the Marines. And I'm going to apologize now. I probably should have gone on and fixed some of the spelling errors, but this was a spur of the moment thing. So we're going to start out with our communications department. And that is basically, our communications department is basically exactly like it sounds. It has to do with communicating and talking to people. It has to do with our website. It has to do with social media. So we opted to have two different types of awards. And we've based our awards on pretty much everything that has meaning to us. Because we are not just Star Trek and not just Star Wars or not just Avengers or not just Marvel Universe and not just Harry Potter, because we embrace all of it and we embrace the science and teaching and concepts of everything, that just really opened up to what we could name our awards. So our first one is the Carl Sagan Award. And I don't know if you know who Carl Sagan is, but he is a science and he is philosophy. And anytime that I end up having a conversation with somebody brand new, it never fails that Carl Sagan's name gets brought up when it has to do with science and philosophy and basically of living of life. So we decided that the Communications Award would be open to all of our members in our public groups. So this includes our public group on Facebook, but it also includes our group on our website, which is www.guildsofrequiem.com/groups. You will find all sorts of groups. And pretty much any group that we have on Facebook, we have a clone of it on our website. And we will be posting more to the website this year and then pushing that information to Facebook and to Instagram and Twitter, and MeWe and MySpace. Yeah, Jeff went in and he got us accounts on pretty much on all the major social medias. Not sure if we have a TikTok. I'm not sure if I want a TikTok, but we'll figure it out if we do. So we decided that this was for anybody who was our prolific poster of science or fact-based articles in the group. Now, I had to remind Robert, and I have to remind myself, and I have to remind everybody else that as command staff, we are not eligible for any of these awards. So everybody's seeing Rashana Tael in there posting a lot. No, you cannot nominate her because that is me. That is my legal alias. So thank you for those who did try to nominate me on a lot of these awards, but no, I'm not eligible. And then we also have the Fluffy Award. If anybody knows who the comedian Fluffy is, he is actually into science fiction. I had the opportunity to meet him many, many years ago when he was still young and up and coming in the comedian world. And we all decided to go in our Starfleet uniforms, and he's standing up on the stage going, "You know, you're making this too easy for me. How could you do this to me? I've completely forgot my routine because you're right there, front row." So I'll never forget that night. He was amazing. But we decided that this is for the person in our groups. And once again, this is any group, any place that we have a discussion group happening on social media or our website. And it's for the person who is the prolific posting of fun. Fandom should be about fun. If it has stopped being fun, please step back and rethink your life a little bit. That's our big goal, is to have fun. So we have 2 winners. Our first one was Carl Baker, and our second one was Derek Sauls. And I will not regale everybody with how long I've known Derek Sauls. Other than that, he has this wonderful song called Unmentionable Street. Our second department is our medical department. And we have a dual purpose for our medical department because we do have events. They work with the Guardians Guild of Requiem in ensuring that we have kind of emergency contact for any of our volunteers that are at events, but also they are for our community, charity, and resources. So our first one is the EMH Award. For those not familiar with Star Trek, EMH stands for Emergency Medical Hologram. He's also known as the Doctor on Voyager. And he's showed up, I believe, on First Contact and a couple other episodes. But this is exactly what it is. It's for the rendering of emergency services. This is open to any member of the chapter, which means that you have to have joined Starfleet Command. We also have the Madame Curie Award. Please look her up. She was a fantastic and amazing nurse. We had a lot of medical advancements because of this one woman in a time in which women were not recognized. But a quote that I learned when I was going, oh my gosh, I'm going to date how old I am. I was in the police academy in 1994, and we had to have basic paramedic learning. And one of the quotes that I saw up on the board was, "One never notices what has to be done. One can only see what remains to be done." And we decided to open this up to event volunteers. And I decided that as the commander, I'm opening up to all members. So in the future, if you are the commander of Space Station Requiem, you're not eligible for this award because even your XO is a volunteer. So the EMH award goes to Trenton Frazier. I have to tell on myself a little bit. Some people know that I have disabilities and some people don't. One of those is that if I don't pay attention to myself, I end up having really bad seizures. And one day I had a really bad seizure at home and ended up, took a couple of hours for me to crawl to my phone to push the magic button and summon help. My husband was at work, and the only person he could get a hold of was his son, Trent. Trent got woke up to come over and help me. This little fella ran over from the other house to where I was at in just his pajamas. No coat, no shoes. I suspect he probably even had to get dressed because his pajamas were on backwards. But he got here, he had a little bit of panic, but once he realized that there was nothing major life-threatening happening and that he did not need to call 911, and he talked to his dad, he took direction so well. Matt's children always just continue to amaze me in everything that's handed to them. They take with stride, and that day Trent took this medical emergency in stride, and he went above and beyond what was expected of him in being able to assist. My next one, the Madame Curie Award, actually has several recipients. The first one is Robert Hammock, Jeanette DiPiazza, and Mikey Lee Gravely. They were whenever we have an event, we put all of our members' names into a drawing for every hour that they are there volunteering. We had 2 events this year. We had the UFO Minicon, and we had the Ren Fair Bandera County, in which there was 2 days. So that meant I had 3 days worth of drawing for, and those were our winners. They went above and beyond. I mean, didn't ask, it's like they saw that something needed to be done and got it done. Lady Desiree, like I said in the video on the 19th, I really love you, and I look forward to the amazing things that you're going to be doing with Guilds of Requiem and Space Station Requiem, that I expect in the future to see your name up here. Our next one is our operations department. And operations is, you have to have an operations department. They are like your human resources. They're our resources guild. They're the ones that keep things running. Without an operations department, things can kind of come to a head, kind of come to a dead stop. No matter how good your command staff is, if you don't have a decent operations department, you're still not going to work. So those who are familiar with the Business Management Award are familiar with the Sigma 6. These are the 6 principles of business management. And I have discovered in the almost 30 years of running nonprofit organizations and fan clubs that these same principles translate over into running any organization at any level, regardless if it's for profit or not for profit. So this is for somebody who contributes above and beyond the call of duty to the smooth operation of the chapter. Second here, I need to put a sweater on because I am getting cold. And I don't want to interrupt this video feed with the fact that I might have a seizure from being cold. They are open to members of the public group as well, which also extends to the Guilds of Requiem members. Because even though they may have opted to not join Starfleet Command, they still insist on helping make sure that this part of Guilds of Requiem runs smoothly, even when I am not. So once again, it's Space Station Requiem and Guilds members are eligible, and we have one winner. Jeff Lester. Actually, I think I've got, maybe have 2. Yes, and Christopher Sanchez. Jeff Lester is our Space Station Requiem member winner. He had his own personal challenges this year, but he was still there saying, how can I make this run smoothly? You need time off, boss? Okay, how can I help? How can I keep things going? Christopher Sanchez, man, I love you, Fur. I met him several years ago. He has been a part of Guilds of Requiem for 3 years now. And without him, there are events and times in which I would have been lost. He kept me on task. He thought of things that I didn't think of. And sometimes he even argued with me to tell me, hey, no, you're wrong. And once I let go of my ego, I realized that he was right. So he does help keep me in charge, and I hope him the best this year, and I look forward to seeing him still coming out and participating at events, even though he needed to take time off. Our science awards. Our science department is geared towards long distance community services, charities, and resources. While Space Station Requiem and Guilds of Requiem itself is located in Pipe Creek, Texas, and we do encompass the greater San Antonio area as being local membership, the state of Texas is pretty big. And I keep getting told, no, I cannot have the surrounding states as a part of my chapter. That doesn't stop me from trying, but we have Guilds of Requiem itself is in almost 7 countries now. So this first one speaks to my heart from my USS Joan of Arc days in Starfleet of International. There was a young lady named Katie Johnson, and her father, Alden Johnson, was a member of the 501st, and he had put out, he made R2KT, the pink droid with a golden heart, and I believe it's r2kt.com is their web address. To help get her through treatments of terminal brain cancer. And during this time, she was starting to feel pretty down. And so the request was, hey, can I get a few cards sent to her? Well, we decided to take this and run. And the next thing I know, I was being contacted by organizations not even related to Starfleet or the 501st saying, how can we help? They ended up getting so many cards and gifts that the family ended up donating them to other children in the hospital. So this award goes to somebody who is spearheading a campaign that all members can participate in without geographical boundaries. And it is open to members of the public group. That's both on Facebook and on our website. We're not saying, oh no, if you're not a member of Starfleet Command, you can't have this award. We don't play like that. We also have the Galileo Galilei Award, and it is an individual contributions to science, math, and scholastic achievement. And this does not have to be related to the club or Guilds of Requiem at all. We prefer them to be a part of Guilds of Requiem, but we decided that there are so many people in our community and in communities all around who have gone above and beyond the call of duty and with making contributions to education and to math and to science. I mean, we're aiming for Mars again. We're aiming for the moon again. So we decided that we're going to open this up to members of the general public as well. So we did not have an award for the Katie Johnson this year, and that's okay. This is our first year having awards, but we did have an award for the Galileo, and that goes out to our friend Carl Baker. He has been our friend on Facebook for many years now, and without his assistance in the Scholars Guild and the Learning Pavilion and the Homeschoolers Guild, I probably would be lost. My education has me towards teaching adults. I've always been one of those subject matter experts that did presentations. I did T-close classes, which for anybody who is in law enforcement knows that you need to have T-close hours to maintain your certifications. So I taught leadership development there, along with some forensics classes and forensics investigation classes. So when it comes to teaching kids, and I'm now homeschooling our kids, that's been challenging for me. So Carl, thank you once again for helping me bridge the gap between the difference in, and I'm not even going to try to say it, how you teach adults and how you teach children. Next is Search and Rescue Awards. This is actually our general department for anybody who is long distance members, which means you are more than 50 miles away from Pipe Creek or not in the greater San Antonio area. So this would be like Jeff up in Arlington. This is going to be Alex and Caitlin down in Corpus Christi. This is going to be Frederico. Anybody who's just wanted to belong, but they're not local, you are in the Search and Rescue Department. So I had to take everybody back in history a little bit. And I'm going to have to ask you to remember when there was an airliner that shortly after takeoff hit a flock of geese, and the pilot ended up landing the plane in the Hudson River. His name was Schulenberger, and him and his crew were individual heroics of the everyday sort that were notable and memorable. So that means that, he did something amazing. He landed a plane on a river with zero loss of life. That day could have gone horribly, horribly different. And because of his individual effort, I'm sure his co-pilot helped too, and his crew was amazing. But he said he had the ideal of, let's land it on the Hudson River. And so for that, it was amazing. We are opening this up to members of the public groups. Our second one is the Ground Control Award. I have had a lot of Netflix and movie binging time, Hulu binging time, and Disney binging time that I've watched Apollo 13, and I've also seen Hidden Numbers. If you have not watched Hidden Numbers about these amazing women who were behind the space program happening, take the time to watch it. They were Black women in a time in which women weren't really expected, let alone a Black woman. And these women were phenomenal. So we have decided that this is a group effort of everyday sort that are notable and memorable. We are opening this up to the general public because there are so many organizations and groups in our area, in other cities and states and other countries, that when we probably October is when we will open this up for nominations, and we'll do, we'll figure out how we're going to get those nominations, and we'll start pouring over them. But yeah, the community is not just about one organization. It's about the many helping, it's about the many. Now this one, I forgot to go in and fix it. It's actually Tracker, Trakr. And Tracker was, back to 9/11, was one of the search and rescue dogs. Tracker had the most fines after that horrible day that people of my generation and older do remember and will never forget. We have decided that this is going to be to an individual member who does the most recruiting of long distance members. It's easy for me to recruit somebody locally. They come to one of our events, they talk to us, they say, hey, yeah, this is what I do. It's harder, it's more challenging to go to somebody who says, I bet you'd have fun with this club. I bet you'd have fun with this organization. So the Sulenberger Award did not have a recipient this year, and neither did the Tracker Award. But the Ground Control Award goes to the staff at the Bandera Beverage Barn. This is the second year that we have worked with them on their annual donation for Warrior's Heart. I believe Amanda said it was their third year. So as soon as I have a certificate and I've got somebody who can take me over there, I'm going to take that certificate to them to proudly hang on their wall. Security Award. This is the one where I can guarantee you I'm not going to be able to, promise I'm going to try not to cry. In our chapter itself, security is is going to track membership and membership retention. For Guilds of Requiem, it's our Guardians Guild. He actually has to do cybersecurity, cyber safety, anything that has to do with risk management. And this year we lost a member to COVID. And he was a longtime friend of mine. He has helped me dream of Requiem long before it became a thing, an actual manifestation. He helped me through many challenging times in my life. I knew that I could call him at any time, day or night. And he embraced the let me help principle in the face of own personal diversity. We are going to open this up to the general public, and we will figure out criteria before October when we go out with it. I have already talked to his adopted sons in Iceland. Josu started out my initial contact with him was because he had committed a cyber crime. But the whole reason that he contacted me and ended up in front of me is because in committing his cybercrime, he discovered that a large corporation was committing an even bigger crime. All of his victims were nameless, faceless, large corporations. He never went after individuals. And he had his own personal diversity of, I see this horrible, horrible thing happening. But the only reason why I know about it is because I committed a crime. So there was a lot of challenge to that. He did have to take a plea bargain, which involved moving to Iceland. And so that was been very challenging for us to maintain a friendship long distance. But while there, he turned his life around. He started a commercial aquaponics. He soon added a commercial chicken, raising of chickens for eggs. Yeah, and I believe he also did meat too. He had an old warehouse in one of the districts of the capital of Iceland. And he had a small problem. He had these boys that kept breaking in, but they were just after food. They were hungry. They weren't there to do damage. They weren't there to take anything of value. They were just hungry. They were lost in the foster system. where they were supposed to be at. One of them had aged out of their foster system, and the other one was his brother. And the foster home basically said, no, your brother can't stay with us anymore. And evidently they treated them pretty horribly. So he decided to come up with Requiem's Haven. I am not going to try to say what it is in Icelandic because I do not speak that language very well, but it does translate to Requiem's Haven. And what he did is he created a non-governmental organization, a nonprofit, basically for wayward foster children. There are currently 30, I just had my phone conversation with them. There are now 36 boys there between the ages of 14 and 28. A lot of the adults who helped them were in the foster system themselves, so they're aware of it. 3 days before Josu passed away, the adoption was official. So the 2 boys that are now helping run the organization did have an official legal father by the time he passed away. So my heart goes out to them. They are amazing young men doing amazing things in the face of their own diversity. Engineering. This is our general membership award, general membership local department. This is somebody says, I want to join Space Station Requiem, but I'm not sure which department I want to be in, but I live in the greater San Antonio area. So that includes Bernie, that includes Kerrville, Pipe Creek, Bandera. I think Castroville would probably be, we've got somebody out in Castroville that's been pinging me lately, but I think they may end up in search and rescue if they don't choose a department, because it's a little bit challenging for them to drive this far out. But we decided to go on the Archimedes principle. Give me a place to stand and I will move the earth. If anybody who knows anything about engineers, that's what the kind of people these are, is, I'm a mover and a shaker. And so we decided that this is innovation in promoting the chapter, local and or long distance. It is open to Starfleet Command Quadrant 1 members only. And we have 1 recipient this year, Jeff Lester. I said, hey, can you get us set up on the basic social media of Facebook and Twitter and, maybe an Instagram. And he went above and beyond. He's also helped with our website, going in and troubleshooting it. I believe he might be in there today or tomorrow because I was getting mad and arguing at it yesterday. Our last one is the Marines, which is also the Command Staff Award. These are our members of the year. And I was informed that it is not the Chester Pulley, it's the Chester Polar Award. I'll have to double check on that. My brain is a little bit vague right now, but he is the epitome of the Marine. He leads by example. He exemplifies what it means being a Marine, and we are making this to also be Starfleet Command Quadrant 1, and this is our member of the year. There's a couple of quotes that I found when I was researching this gentleman, in that a private asked him if he had permission to get married. And he said, son, when the Marines want you to get married, we're going to issue you a wife. I was like, okay, well, yeah, that's an epitome of Marine. The other thing that caught my attention was that when he was at a demonstration for flamethrower, he asked, where's the bayonet? It wasn't good enough for him to just toast somebody. He wanted to stab them too, just because. Well, those are it's not exactly something we want people to do. We do want them to lead by example and to be gung-ho and to be committed. And I am here to have fun. I'm here to help. And I'm going to exemplify everything that it means to be a member of this chapter. So, and then we also have the Britannia Award. The Britannia was another service dog. Actually, she was a therapy dog on the ground at 9/11. She was among the first therapy dogs on the ground at 9/11. And she was dispensing comfort everywhere she went. She was tireless in her devotion. And so we decided that this is going to be a member in their first year. That means they've never been a member of Starfleet Command before. So the person I wanted to nominate, I'm sorry, he was a returning member, so he did not qualify. But they are tireless in their devotion to the betterment of the chapter, to Guilds of Requiem, and they are overall an asset to our organization. So we do have one member who is winning the Chester, yeah, I'll look it up and I'll make sure I have it right when it's on the certificate. And that goes to Jeff Lester. He exemplifies what it means to be a member of Starfleet Command of Space Station Requiem and Guilds of Requiem. We did have some promotions that we put out. We have some enlisted promotions, and then we also had an enlisted promotion. And to the rank of specialist, we promoted Cadence Frazier, Liam Frazier, Matthew Frazier, and Trenton Frazier. Now, yes, they are all family members, but the kids don't have to be involved. We discovered the kind of the scary, creepy way that with their Xboxes being tied to my account, that I hear their conversations when they talk to their friends, and I see their chat conversations. And I discovered, and I've gotten some emails saying, hey, my child plays with your son on Xbox, and he told me about this Star Trek club. I want to know more about it. And Matt, yeah, while he has to be with me when we do events, he doesn't have to actually help with the event. He could be he could easily be sitting there being the husband that just holds the purse and lets the wife go off and do whatever, but he doesn't. He is actively involved in what is happening. And we had one promotion to the rank of Marine Captain, which goes to our executive officer, Robert Hammock. I did have several others that I wanted to promote, but however, they did not have enough time and grade. Starfleet Command says you have to be in your current position a minimum of 6 months. Robert and I had decided that for convenience, we were only going to do promotions twice a year, which is in December, and then again 6 months later in June, with awarding them in July at the July meeting. So just because you didn't get promoted now doesn't mean I didn't try. It just means we've got to wait a little bit, and we will get you promoted as quickly as we can because you deserve it. We do track promotion points. Anytime you take an academy class in Starfleet with Starfleet Academy, anytime you are posting on our page, you're sharing our posts, you're helping promote the chapter and or Guilds of Requiem as a whole, we do count that as promotion points. Just because you've been there for 6 months does not mean you're automatically going to get promoted. We only promote those who are putting forth effort. And may God's have mercy on your soul. After that point, we didn't really do a sing-along because, well, Robin can't sing right now, and all of her Trek Christmas songs are somewhere out in Cyberland that she's trying to find. I may have to rewrite them in time for next year. Our favorite one is the 12 Days of Trekmas, and we love to have the kids participate so that they can do 5 torpedoes, boom. And that was our entire thing that we had for that night. I thank you for stopping by and joining me on this repeat of our our Yuletide celebration and annual awards. We look forward to 2021 and everything that it holds. We hope to see everybody at we have a vote going on right now for Ren Fair as to whether we're going to try to do a full Ren Fair market, just a marketplace, or maybe because of all the COVID concerns, putting it off a year. But we are looking forward to having BantuckyCon, which is the Saturday before Halloween. And this is an all-inclusive convention just outside. It's a convention outside. So you don't have to worry about, oh my goodness, I don't want to be inside a social, and it'll be in October, so it won't be as hot. We do try to pair it up with an annual showing of the Rocky Horror Picture Showcase. Depending on our location, that may or may not happen. If you know anybody who is an amateur astronomer or an astronomy group, I would love to be able to connect with them right now to have them there to do stargazing. I do apologize that that did not happen at UFO MiniCon this year. Somebody was trying to help someone set up their telescope and they ended up breaking it. And then by the time that we got to the end of the day, we had reached temperatures of 120 degrees at the end of August. So we decided that we don't want to do any more outdoor events in the heat of the summer. MUFON, maybe you know somebody, maybe there's an astrological society out there that would love to get a little bit of exposure. You're welcome to have a booth there all day to talk about astronomy. But I would really like to be able to turn the evening events over to somebody else that is helping coordinate. So if you know somebody, please have them either contact spacestationrequiem@gmail.com or customer service at Guilds of Requiem. I thank you once again for joining me. It went a lot faster than when we originally did it. I think we did like less than 45 minutes versus the hour and a half. We look forward to seeing you. We will have our annual board meeting for Guilds of Requiem on Saturday, January the 9th at 2 p.m. And then on Saturday, I believe it's January 30th, the very last Saturday of the month, don't quote me on the date, at 7 p.m. is when the senior staff meeting will be televised live, broadcast live on our YouTube channel. And then we will set up when we're going to have our meetings and how we're going to have our meetings this year. So thank you everybody for joining me and watching me. I did see that we had a few people watching, but